always point fun at a lot of alternative media for talking about the problem but never talking about the solution. So we've come up with a solution called the Take Back campaign. This campaign we launched back in 2013. These cities and counties have all banned the NDAA and the laws of war from their jurisdiction. The first city where we did this was Albany, New York, the capital of New York. This was in September, October 2013. People looked at us and went, "You're going to take on the capital of New York? You've been around for a year and a half, you haven't won anything, and you're going to take on the capital of New York?" And I told the team, I said, "Look, if we don't win here, we lost the state level. We introduced 18 pieces of legislation, every one of them failed. We lost the state level. I told the team, if we do not win here, nobody's going to take us seriously. Put all our chips on the board. We launched a new website, Take Back Albany. We've got 15 organizations on the ground, over 3,000 flyers distributed. On the day of the vote, the projected vote was 7-6. That's 13 people, because I can't do math now. Which means 2 people, because it's a 15-person council, hadn't decided yet, and they would go with the winners. So it'd be 9-6. That was against us. When we showed up at City Council that day, we had 100 people there, and we had a live band. Now, that was fun. We had a live band, 100 people there. The City Council atrium was packed. The City Council was packed. There were people standing outside. And when the guy who was leading the fight up there, Jesse Calhoun, when he got up to the podium, he said, "Everyone who's here in the favor of the resolution, please stand up." The entire building stood up. That vote, 11-0. They were afraid to vote against us. Over and over and over again, we've done this. So how does it work? Number 1, pass the Restoring Constitutional Governance Resolution. Now, I gave the resolution to your pastor and your bishop. They have a copy of that. They should be making some more copies, I'm sure, for everyone else. This resolution bans the NDAA and the laws of war legally from being used in a city or county. However, we also know that if paper protected us, the Constitution wouldn't be violated right now. So we don't want to rely on a piece of paper to protect us. It just gives you a false sense of security, make you think you're protected. So the second step is changing local, in this case it'd be your sheriff, changing local sheriff policy. That if you are a sheriff's deputy or an employee of the sheriff's department, and you allow the laws of war to be used in this county against the resolution, against the Constitution, you will be fired. Third, ultimately, it is up to the people to defend their liberty. You cannot trust peace officers, and you cannot trust politicians to defend your liberty because they don't care about your liberty. They care about their liberty just like you care about your liberty. Ultimately, it's up to you to defend your liberty, defend your freedom. So number 3 is set up a citizen's watch. Real simple, just like a neighborhood watch. We set up those all the time. I don't want my property stolen, you don't want your property stolen, we're going to look over each other's property. The same thing with this. The citizen's watch reports every police raid to each other, and then goes to the police department to ask for the warrant. If they do not get the warrant, you raise hell. And will bring so much bad publicity to your sheriff's department, to your police department, for not giving you a warrant, not making it a constitutional arrest, that they and every other city and county across the nation will be scared to allow it to happen in their city. Neither you nor I can walk in front of a Delta Force regiment and say, "Don't detain this person," or an Army Ranger regiment, "Don't detain this person." What we can do is we can make it political suicide for the people who order them to do the dirty work. For them in office, they know they will lose their job if they allow it to happen here in this city. Now, why local level? Why not federal level? Well, if you can't answer that question yourself already, I've been to Congress. I've seen they voted this, they chose not to repeal this 3 years in a row. That it's been around for just shy of 3 years. They've chose implement it, and then 2 years later have chose to continue it. And if you have a roadblock, say there's one road. This one road is the violate your rights road. This road comes to your town, to your capital, to your state capital, and to the U.S. Capitol. Do you want the roadblock 1,000 miles away in D.C., where they might be able to steal it in the middle of the night? Do you want it 400 miles away at your state capital, where they might be able to steal it in the middle of the night? Or do you want it right outside your house, where you can keep an eye on it and make sure they don't steal it in the middle of the night? Practically protecting you from the NDAA and from indefinite detention. And that's why we recommend the local level, and that's why we recommend setting up the Citizens Watch. Now, there's a paper in the back. That paper in the back is for people who want to help. People who say, you know what, I'm not really interested in actually taking back my liberty, but I would like to help people who do. Maybe I don't have the time, maybe I don't have whatever. I'm not interested. I will help people who do. Put your name on there. However, if you want to step up, and this, it means I care enough about my liberty, I care enough about my future, it doesn't matter what my age is, I'm 21. I care about my liberty, I care about my future, and I'm going to take back my county or take back my city, or I'm going to join with the leadership team who's going to do that. Then I'll be in the back, and so will your pastor, and so will your bishop, and we'll talk to any one of us, and we'll help you get started. We'll personally work with you to make sure that happens in your county or in your city, if you want to step up and really take back your liberty and really take back your freedom. Now, people ask me why I do this. And Dan, you're 21, you should be out partying, you should have had a blast on your 21st birthday. And I was speaking on my 21st birthday. So, what are you doing, Dan? What are you doing? And the answer I have is this. How am I, someone who hasn't lost their innocence yet, young, 3, 4, 5 years old, someone who thinks the world is Disneyland and amazing and just Discovery Channel is the greatest thing in the world, when 20 years down the road, because governments do use laws they put in place. Remember, this law is almost the exact same as the Decree for the Protection of People in the State of the Third Reich that was passed in 1933, 2 years before Hitler invaded Poland. So they do use laws they put in place. They already have executed American citizens. So in 20 years, when I'm walking down the road and I see a military raid or police raid, and a young girl comes up to me and she looks me in the eye and she goes, Dan, what did you do? How am I going to answer her with nothing? I don't have kids yet, but I want to bring up kids. I want to bring up kids in this country. I believed America was the land of the free, the home of the brave, that here was where freedom lived. That's what I believed growing up. And how could I dare look a young person in the eye and tell them you are free while this remains and while other tyrannical laws remain, while our government acts like the dictatorships of old? I cannot lie to the next generation until I can point to them, until I can look into their eyes and tell them that you are free. I will not stop fighting. I care about my liberty. You care about your liberty. And I will not stop until I can look a child in the eye and tell them you are free.